Have any of you ever done a task and felt so engrossed in it, so into it in that moment, that suddenly time became meaningless? That you were so concentrated, your mind fully at work at this task, that suddenly it became the most important thing to you? Well, for, that would be flow state, which increases your efficiency of workflow. Mihai Csikszentmihalyi is an educator and a psychologist who came up and coined this term flow state. He is also known as the father of flow, and he calls this state as a state of contentness in your activity. Jordan Peterson also speaks of something similar in his book 12 Rules for Life, in which he uses the concepts of chaos and order. Chaos being the known and chaos being the unknown and order being the known. And the balance between having one foot planted firmly in chaos and one foot planted firmly in order, where you are able to have enough knowledge of the known to delve into the unknown with ease. If any of you have watched the Disney movie Soul, it speaks of something similar and it terms it as the zone. So, so how do we access this state? Through a lot of research done by many important people, and the one I've been researching for is Ryan Doris. He is the CEO and founder of the Flow Research Institute, along with his co-founder and partner, Stephen Kotler. They have learned more about this state and have found flow triggers to it and the neuroscience behind this state. So, my name is Abigail Pinto, and today I'll be talking about how you yourself can access this state to make any work you do efficient. Now, let's go back to flow and see, when have you ever felt this state? It could have been while you were playing an instrument, playing a sport, learning something new, or an intense activity like surfing or skiing. Many famous, many famous athletes or scientists would have possibly been in this state while they accomplished feats that were impressive to mankind and set new world records. Because this is a state where your optimum consciousness is at use, and that is a very powerful thing. So, how do we access this state? Well, let's say you have a task. For example, for me, I found out that when I did art, I was in this state for as long as I can remember. I have loved art as a child, and I went from drawing to painting to more complex things like digital art and quite recently 3D animation. As I found myself learning about these complex topics, it didn't really feel complex. It didn't really feel challenging. And I found myself going for hours at a time at this thing, forgetting to eat and not even thinking about touching my phone. This was an impressive state for me because I've never ever felt that way before. And because this gave me a new meaning, this gave me a new sense of purpose. So if there's any activity or craft of yours that gets you to feel this way, where you genuinely enjoy it, this will make it much easier for you to access this state of flow. But let's be realistic. How much of our tasks are actually something we genuinely enjoy? So for that, try to find a way to link your task to a more profound and deeper meaning of your life. For example, let's take something as simple as an essay. Let's say school has given you an essay to write and you may not want to do it. Start by asking yourself, why are you doing this essay? This seems trivial, but once you ask yourself why, you may say, to get good grades, to get a good school grade, to get a good college, to get a good job, and eventually you will have success in life. Or you could simply look at it as writing your essay to gain knowledge about a topic, which will eventually help you out in your life. In both these cases, it leads to the betterment of your own life. By connecting something as simple as an essay or a homework assignment to bettering your life itself, it makes you much more motivated to do this task. Not only in a sense of wanting to do this task, but also your subconscious mind is involved in this task. So you may be wondering, what is this big deal about the subconscious mind? Well, the subconscious mind is a very powerful force, and if you genuinely enjoy an activity, that is when your subconscious mind will play an active role in it. Let me tell you this story. Whenever there was a math problem or that I could not solve, my father would tell me, go take a break. And I would never understand why this would work or how this would work. But it happened so that every time I would come back to the books, the answer would occur to me like that. It was easier and I could never remember why I would struggle with such a thing. This is my subconscious mind at work. Because while you are doing another activity, your subconscious mind will still process information and will still process your ideas. This will what leads you. And by making use of this subconscious computer in your mind, you can achieve almost anything. So here's the two things we've looked at so far. Finding a love for a topic by connecting it to a more profound sense of being, and finding an admiration for this topic, finding a genuine sense of love and reasoning to do it. Here, the subconscious mind. Now, so far, three triggers of flow that we've looked at: a love for the topic and mastery of the topic. Let me get to mastery. When you love a craft, when you love your craft, and you will want to get better at it, and that will eventually lead to mastery. Or if you are good at your craft, that will lead to love of your craft. The subconscious mind will get involved because you love your craft. So these are three powerful triggers in any situation that will help you access flow state. What's the last part about flow state? This is the most difficult part about accessing flow state, because if this state of consciousness haven was so easy to access and almost anybody could do it. The most difficult part about this is the start. Because flow state does not work like a switch, it works like a cycle, with initially starting with the struggle phase. The struggle phase is something where you simply have to push through. There is no shortcut to it. Because even for tasks that you love, you could find yourself not wanting to do it. This is obviously much more true with tasks that you do not enjoy. But once you have found yourself into the position to start, then from that moment you push onwards to get into flow state. Here are some ways I've done it. I normally set a timer. I tell myself to go to the table and open my books to start. I tell myself that it is only the setup I am doing, so that I'm more likely to just keep it open, keep the books open and leave. Then I put up a 5-minute timer or a 10-minute timer and say, okay, for this period of time, I will focus solely for this task. I found it that eventually once you find your comfortable time frame, you will work on your task without needing the timer to tell you to stop. That is when you can access flow state. So flow state is more like a skill that you can access over time, and you can apply it to any area of life, any work of your life. And this will make your life much easier and much productive. Thank you.